Hey everyone, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm wearing makeup for my play right now, but that's okay. By the way, do you guys like this cute little necklace I found at a thrift store? Fun fact about me, I have a fondness for cheap costume jewelry. I think it's cute. I think it's pretty. I don't care if it's plastic. Like, that doesn't bother me. Today we are going to review a book that I picked. I just read it recently, but I'm reviewing it now because it feels very wintry. Most of it takes place like in a winter, sort of enchanted winterland, basically. And that is Hunted, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This is the story of a girl whose nickname is Beauty, imagine that, and she and her two sisters and her father are a prosperous merchant family until inevitably, because this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, they fall on hard times. They have to move back to their old hunting cabin, and their father is trying to make it again as a hunter and a trapper, and his daughters, who were previously being trained in high society, now have to deal with living in a tiny cabin with like a servant who wanted to stay with them because they raised him. That part was a little weird. And of course all of these girls were being courted by young gentlemen when they were women of society, but now they're not, and it's a whole thing. The father goes missing, and Beauty, who likes to hunt herself, goes out after him, encounters the Beast, and everything goes very Beauty and the Beast from there. Hey guys, this is the world's fastest reminder that you can support me on Patreon and see all kinds of exclusive videos like these ones. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So, Hunted, what did I think about it? Let's get into the review. I did notice that this version definitely follows the original Beauty and the Beast story a bit more than, say, the Disney version, because Beauty does have siblings. The situation where her family are rich merchants, but then they lose everything, is very much the original story, although in the original I think Beauty's sisters were assholes, and in this one they're loving sisters. It does differ a bit as the story goes on, especially with the mythology. Not so much with the beats, but with the mythology it does differ. But I felt like if you are a bit of a purist about Beauty and the Beast stories, this one might speak to you that way. And of course, as with any Beauty and the Beast story, our main character is very good looking. They try to pass it off like, oh, she doesn't care that she's pretty. You know, all of that kind of annoying stuff, and it's like, I could be mad, but on the other hand, what are you gonna do? It's Beauty and the Beast. She's gotta be pretty. And we also don't want her to be conceited, so of course they're gonna have it be like, oh, she's pretty, but she doesn't care. There's not too much you can do with that, especially if you're doing a more faithful retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And of course, as indicated by the cover and everything for this book, our Beauty is into hunting. She used to love to go hunting with her father before she became a society lady, and as the stereotype would have it, she dislikes being a society lady and wants to get back into the woods and hunting. This book had such a slow beginning. Actually, I wanted to look up when this book was actually published, because this beginning is so slow. I don't understand how it was published. I know this is not a debut, and that is a factor as well, but I'm just going to use my laptop candy here and determine when this book was actually published. I can speak English today. Okay, 2017, so not that long ago. I think the landscape of young adult was a little bit different back then, and this was kind of right on the wave, the crest of the wave of all of these retellings that we were getting. So it was like right at the, near anyway, the peak of hype for retellings, because for a minute there, retellings were like hot shit. It might have been a little ahead of that, actually. I can't remember exactly when retellings like hit their peak. I think they're starting to go down now. And like I said, this is not this author's debut, but as we have established in previous things that we have read, yeah, it's weird that it's so slow. Like, this book takes so long to beast. I was like, how are we ever going to have them fall in love? How is there possibly going to be enough book left for that? Because so much of it is Beauty's in the society. Oh no, her family is ruined. Oh, they have to move to their cabin, and like everything. And it's good on the one hand, because I do like a story to establish who the characters are and where they are before they destroy their lives. But I feel like this one did it a little bit too much. It was a little bit too slow, especially in a retelling when you know that you're going to get the Beast eventually, and you're waiting for it, and you're just like, how many hunting trips is she going to go on before she encounters the Beast? Now, with any Beauty and the Beast book, it comes down to Beauty and it comes down to Beast, and especially to Beauty because she is usually our viewpoint character. We do have like little things from the Beast, but it's usually like a very short little like inner monologue that's like a paragraph and then it's back to Beauty's point of view. And this Beauty was so bland. I was very disappointed in her because she's just that stereotypical YA heroine that I thought we were getting over. Even by 2017, I thought we were getting over her, where she's just so good at everything. She's hot, but she doesn't think that she's hot. She's a skilled hunter. She can still wear the pretty dresses. She's the full package without any flaws. And I didn't love it, and I think that really dragged this book down for me because we are with her all the time, and all of her trials are external. She never really has any issues herself. When Beauty first sees the Beast, she catches up to him, and because she's hunting, she's trying to find her father, and she catches up to the Beast, and she, like, first sees him, and she's just like, huh, that's kind of a weird hybrid wolf monster. Neat. Like, there's no reaction from her. She's not afraid. She's not appalled. She's not even really excited. She's just like, huh, are creatures like this common in your world? Because I don't think so. She's really chill about it. And I was like, if there was any setup to make us think that fantasy creatures existed in this world before this, I would be okay with her blasé reaction, but there is not. And if I went out into the woods and discovered a mutant wolf creature, even if I was a skilled hunter, I wouldn't just be like, that's cool. A big part of the fun of retellings, and the reason that many of us love them so much, is because you know the beats, but you don't know how the author is going to get there. That's where the originality comes from. And it's a really fine balance to strike between hitting those beats and reaching them, but also subverting expectations. And I am very picky about the ones that I love, where they do hit those beats, but they also subvert expectations. And this one, it was so straightforward and such just a fairly plain feeling retelling of Beauty and the Beast that, again, I was a little surprised it got published. We already have that sort of straightforward Beauty and the Beast retelling in Beauty, which is a different book that I quite enjoyed. For its sort of matter-of-fact straightforwardness, I didn't feel like I needed it again, except for the twist being that Beauty is a hunter in this one. At least this author does seem to understand that things take time, and I do feel like we have a reasonable amount of time with Beauty and the Beast together for at least him to fall in love with her. We'll talk a little bit more about her later on, but it is believable at least the time that he falls in love with her. To me. Some people might still think it's too short, and we probably could have lopped a little bit off the beginning and gotten more of them in the middle, but I think it was adequate. A lot of Beauty and the Beast stories rush the falling in love part, and that's like the best part. There's a dog in this book. She has a hunting hound named Doe Eyes, who is the best dog, good doggo, 1,000,000 doggo points, and the doggo lives through the book. So you guys, 1,000,000 doggo points. The pacing of this story was very weird, and the places where scenes were placed and like big things happening, they were in odd places to me. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like it flowed, especially when she was with the Beast at last. There were scenes where it didn't feel like they naturally flowed together, and as a result, when we got to the inevitable scene where Beauty leaves the Beast again, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't feel earned, and you're just like, what? Why? Huh? At least I was, because of the choppiness and the way that the previous scenes were arranged, it didn't feel like a natural progression. I also wish that we saw more humanity from the Beast sooner. He is very animal, and I think we are supposed to be getting him slowly, showing his more human side, but I don't feel like there's enough. I wish he would act a little bit more human a little more often so that it would be a little bit more realistic that she might be able to develop some affection towards him, because he stays very beastie for a long time until all of a sudden he's kind of human-ish again, right, like in the scene before she leaves. However, I do appreciate that we get a Beast that is a beast. He's not like a sexy fairy with a mask. He's not a hottie with a skin condition. He is a creature. He's like a bear, wolf, mutant thing. So I appreciate that, because I do kind of have a bone to pick with Beauty and the Beast stories where the Beast isn't beastie. This book really tries to string you along with this mystery because the Beast wants Beauty for a reason. He needs a hunter, and he ends up with her. He is like, you're going to be my hunter and I need you. And for some reason the book tries to obscure what the beast needs her for, and I don't understand why. Eventually we get it, and it's supposed to be like some kind of twist, but I at least had figured it out because it was really the only thing that it could be. And I was like, why didn't we say this earlier? This isn't a worthy twist. Not only is it not a twist, but it's also kind of boring. So why didn't the beast just admit why he needed a hunter earlier? I don't think it would have changed much, and it would have helped with some of the confusion of being like, why isn't he just telling her? When Belle goes back, inevitably, to her family after she's been with the beast for a while, she tells her sisters about him, and they all like point out the abusive angles to their relationship and like the Stockholm syndrome and everything, and I'm like, I kind of love it. I love that her sisters are so good and are like, no, don't go back to that man. He held you prisoner. What are you doing? And they're not wrong. They are not wrong. Like, Beauty does point out some ways that they are wrong, but at the same time you're reading it and you're like, yeah, though, the sisters have some points. They have some points. Like I mentioned before, the beast is really into Beauty, but it does not feel like it's reciprocated. And maybe it's not supposed to be, because, a bit of a spoiler, true love isn't what breaks the curse in this version of the story. So, Beast is really into her, but Beauty is so... she throws off such asexual vibes. At first I thought maybe she was Demi, but because she wasn't really interested in some other guys who were courting her, even though they were like #perfect boyfriends. And as it went on, I was like, no, I think she's just a romantic, full stop. Like, she does not seem interested in a romantic relationship, except to help her family. Like, she would get married to have money to help her family, but she has like no romantic inclination towards anyone. And I kind of wish that it was on the page that that was actually a thing. I don't think it was meant to be. That's the problem. I don't think she was meant to be a romantic, asexual representation type of character. I think the author just didn't really know how to make her fall in love with the beast without making it seem creepy. I say embrace it. Has anybody seen Shape of Water? Just embrace the monster love, if you know what I mean. Guys, don't come for me. That was a joke. I'm not into bestiality. Calm down. I do feel like this book stuck the ending, if not the message. The ending itself, when it finally revealed what the beast wanted her for, and we got, you know, all of the threads tied together, I felt like it was pretty strong, and I was enjoying reading the ending. The themes did not... This supposed to be, at the end, apparently, it's supposed to have been a theme of wanting too much. Beauty wants too much and she's never satisfied. The beast was, you know, wants too much and he's never satisfied. And the wanting is the wrong thing. And we're supposed to understand that our characters should have settled or something. It's very confused. The theme is confused. The message is confused. And I don't quite understand where it was going. But I will say the ending itself, as just something to read, was enjoyable and did work for me. So those are my thoughts on Hunted. I was really excited for this book and it did kind of let me down, which is too bad. But I am still a fan of Beauty and the Beast retellings. So if you are as well, consider giving this one a look. Feel free to comment below and let me know some of your favorite Beauty and the Beast retellings. Bonus points if they're obscure and we've never heard of them before. If you liked what you saw here, I have tons more content on this channel, so go check it out. It's all in nice playlists for you, easy to access, easy to binge. I post new videos Mondays and Fridays, and if you want to see even more, you can check me out on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can have access to exclusive content not seen here on the regular channel. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo, and I will see all of you guys again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Well, it's that time again. It's time to thank my amazing patrons of the month. This month we have Lennox, Amanda, Baruch, Irene, Jenny, Kim, Lisa, Sabby Panda, Sam, Sarah, Savvy, and Scribbling Cat. And I hope all my patrons continue to support me because they are the very best, like no one ever was.